Hello and welcome to another episode of Spectrum Drama, where we take a look at the hottest posts on Spectrum for the week and give our thoughts and opinions on them. So before we get started, just a quick announcement. We're going to have a special stream on Saturday, this Saturday coming. It's going to be at 6 PM Eastern Standard Time or 11 PM if you're in the UK, and do maths for the rest of you around the world. So this is a special event which is featuring people like Board Gamer and us, very importantly us, so it's just going to be a fun event with a UE Medical Corp in the game. So they're going to be messing around trying to think up games that include a medical aspect, plus there's going to be fights and all sorts, so it should be interesting. So if you're available, come along and watch the stream, and it should be fun. Let's get started. Okay, so first up we've got a post from Aurelius, and it says, lifetime insurance, don't think it's everything. And the gist of this is people are really kind of holding lifetime insurance up as like the holy grail. Recently, whenever you buy a new ship, you get 72 months of insurance as opposed to lifetime insurance. So people are now kind of kicking off a bit that, you know, that if they're going to buy a ship, they want lifetime insurance. But the post does kind of state 72 months is 6 years. 6 years is a very long time. And, you know, that could be the lifetime of this game. You don't know. We also don't know how expensive insurance is actually going to be. So I think at the moment, lifetime insurance isn't a big deal, is kind of the gist. What's your takeaway on this?
Yeah, I don't think it's the holy grail, as some people think it is. It is important to some people, very important it seems, but me, I don't really care. Just playing the game, you should, you know, making enough money to cover your ship's insurance shouldn't really be a problem. It might become a problem if you've got 20 ships and some of them are capital size. Then it might be a bit more relevant. But for anyone who's only going to have maybe, you know, a handful of ships, I really don't think this is going to be an issue.
No, I mean, I think, you know, it's one of those things where if you're playing this game on a regular basis, you should be making money. That money should be more than enough to cover your insurance. If they bring out a model whereby the insurance is so hefty that it requires you to either go out your way to buy in-game money with real money, or you have to work, you know, 9 hours a day to earn it, they've done something wrong, and they're not going to do that. It'll be, my guess would be, it's going to be a very minimal amount that you can make in a few missions just to kind of keep things ticking over. You know, and I mean, LTI and the likes, you know, it's really just, it's a bit of a money grab, as is everything really when it comes to Star Citizen. But you know, I don't think people should really worry about insurance. It's, you know, it's going to be like in real life. You know, you just pay it off monthly, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'd be a nice little perk to have on your ship, but it's not going to be the end of the world if you don't have it. I really don't think it is. No.
I did read a few of the comments in here, and there were some interesting ones, and one that kind of caught my eye was to do with kind of, people are talking about like permanent loss of ships and all that kind of stuff, and there's kind of two camps at the moment. You know, some people think that, you know, when you lose a ship that's uninsured, it's gone forever and you can never get it back. And the more logical way of looking at it is, you know, if you have a ship that's uninsured and something terrible happens to it, it may be a case that so long as you pay off your insurance, you know, I mean, pay up, buy some more insurance, maybe pay a premium, you can get your ship back. I mean, I don't think that they're definitely not going to take away people's ships that have bought them with real money. That's just,
that will never happen.
No, it just couldn't happen. No game could do that. I'm pretty confident there must be a rule somewhere that stops them from being able to do that. But yeah, I think people are kind of maybe worrying about the wrong things here. You're not going to lose ships, and so long as you keep them insured, which I'm sure will be a minimal amount, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
And the best way they could do it is if you don't have insurance on your ship and that ship gets blown up, then you just got to pay a bit more to get it back.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, if you crash a car, if that car is not insured, it doesn't just, you know, exit from reality. It is still there. It's just a bit more messed up.
Yeah. You know, and you just have to pay to get it repaired. I mean, that would be quite cool actually if they went down that route where, like, you know, let's say your ship gets a bit smashed up, and if you're insured, you know, you can pay, like, say, like what do they call it, like a reserve or whatever it is on your insurance, your excess. Yeah, you could pay your excess to get it repaired under insurance. You know, but if you've got no insurance, then you just have to pay for the repairs, those sorts of things. There's lots of ways they could kind of work insurance, but I think the way that they're looking at it, from what I gather, is you pay insurance on this ship, and that way you're kind of it explains why you're getting another one when it blows up. Basically, it's just a mechanic that they need to explain. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't even think about insurance. No. You know, I mean, when the game's released, or at least when we're in a persistent state where you really do need to worry about your insurance, I probably will. But at the moment, I'm not fussed at all. You know, when my ship blows up, I just go and get another one.
Yep, easy.
Yeah.
The other gameplay mechanic from the whole insurance, if say you don't have insurance on your ship,
yeah,
you might be able to get a player that has a repair ship to help you retrieve it, sort of thing. That's what we need, is a pickup truck type ship that can go and pick your wreck up and bring it back to a city or a station or something.
That would be quite fun, actually. Just imagine that you've got like this giant, like, tugboat of a spaceship with just a chain and a hook coming out of its arse. Yeah. Just dragging it around space. Yeah, I mean, it probably would be a bit more advanced than that, but I like that image. So cool. So next up, we've got a post from Legion, and it says points of interest and exploration. Basically, it's more of a question really than a post as such. It's asking, are there any points of interest in the game, like ruins, anomalies, mysterious things, that sort of stuff? And, you know, is exploration a thing? And I mean, the short answer is not really at the moment. But I mean, no. You know, I mean, what do you think about exploration in the current state of the game?
Well, yeah, there's not really. I mean, there's maybe two locations. There's Jump Town, which isn't like on a marker. You have to actually go and find that.
Yeah.
And there's Benny Henge, which, for those who don't know what that is, it is a bunch of Benny's Noodles vending machines arranged in a particular manner. There's somewhere on an asteroid around Yellow, I think.
Yeah.
So there's 2 points around Yellow. But other than that, we haven't seen any. I think there might be a crash site somewhere on Daymar, I think.
Yeah, was it like a Starfare or something? Or
no, I think it's like a Javelin. It's something big.
That's it, yeah.
I think that's still there. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing there to do though. It's just a site. If you want to go and find that, go for it.
I think when we started doing our stories, that was one of the first things we were going to do, was go and find this wreck. Yeah. But we just lost interest after a while because it was so buggy. It took forever to just get down to explore. So, yeah, I mean, I think the way the game is at the minute is they're really not focusing on exploration or expanding as yet. There will be points of interest. I'm sure there'll be loads and loads of stuff to find and to see.
Oh yeah.
You know, they're not giving out a list at the minute because there's not really any point. You know, as we know, they're focusing quite intently on combat mechanics and flight models and all that kind of stuff because of Squadron 42. So it kind of their focus is quite narrow at the minute. But once they get past that, I'm pretty confident that then things are going to expand and we're going to start to have a need to explore. And I for one can't wait for that.
Yeah, we'll start getting some proper exploration mechanics when the whole science gameplay gets put in, I would have thought.
Okay, so next up we've got a post from The Amazing Flight Lizard. And it says DNA in 3.5. And again, this is more of a question on how DNA, what they're calling DNA, is going to work for character creation. Is it going to be more like GTA, or is it going to be like a slider-based system, that kind of thing? And there is a video posted in one of the comments which kind of breaks this all down. Do you want to kind of explain how it works?
Yeah, so what we got shown at CitizenCon was they had I think it was like 4 faces, and you could like merge 2 of them together and slightly adjust some features. Gives you a bit more facial customization for your character. But what they showed at CitizenCon was quite a I don't want to say basic, but the range wasn't extensive, shall we say.
Yeah.
So whether we are just getting this system or if they've expanded that since then, we don't know. Information about this coming in 3.5 is actually quite non-existent.
Yeah, that's the seems to be the biggest problem at the moment is they'll kind of say, look, this is what we're going to give you, but there's no real breakdown of what that means. I mean, looking at the video, it looks pretty cool. It's again, like's been said, it's a little bit GTA-ish in that you get to pick your 4 or so faces and mesh them into one. I mean, it's one way of doing it. I quite like that way. GTA was very minimal in the way it did it, and you could. I mean, I've seen people create themselves. Like, actually, it looks exactly like them in GTA, and I have no idea how they did it, because I just kept looking like a fat Chinese man. I just don't know why. I just could not make it look like me. So hopefully this will be a little bit more in-depth, so we can get some variation in faces. But to be honest, I don't know, like, when games like Skyrim and stuff like that came out, and Elder Scrolls, and you got real customization for faces, and you could really make someone look quite bizarre. It was novel, but it's kind of worn off a little bit now for me, the novelty of being able to just make a face.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much every game's got it. Well, sort of multiplayer. Well, no, not every game, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it is. It's a mainstay now. For most games.
It's kind of like a given that you're going to be able to do that. So most MMOs are judged now by the amount of sliders they've got.
Yeah. What? You haven't got 175 sliders for eyebrows?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I get overwhelmed with the amount that you can adjust a face, to the point where I just go random. So it would. I hope that they've got like a nice, robust, but maybe a simplified version with lots of options. But I don't know. Basically, you need to make it perfect, exactly how I want it.
Yeah, I think that's what everyone wants.
Basically, so if you could just reach into my mind, you'll understand what needs to be done. But they're never going to please everyone. So I think we'll just have to make do with whatever we get. And let's be honest, I think once you've made your character's face, you'll barely remember what he looks like in a month. So I wouldn't worry about it.
The only thing I'm concerned with is with every major update, we get a server wipe.
Yeah.
How is that going to affect our character that we've spent half an hour playing around with sliders?
Yeah, that's going to be a nightmare. They're going to have to come up with some sort of a way to make the character creation that you've done persistent. It must be a way to do it in the user file or somewhere, which keeps a record of the changes made and just reapplies them. That must be doable.
Maybe, or if you can export the settings and just sort of paste it back into the folder every time,
that would work.
Be a fix, I guess. But otherwise I'm just going to be pressing random every time. I can't bother doing sliders every time.
We'll look different every 3 months. We'll look like a new human, because there's no way that I'm going to be doing it every time they bring out a major patch or whatever. It's like trying to recraft me. Can't be arsed.
Yeah.
So there you go. So fingers crossed, but I'll be honest, I'll probably be happy with whatever they give us when it comes to this sort of a feature.
Yeah, it's definitely an improvement over what we've got at the moment, but it remains to be seen how much they've expanded that since CitizenCon, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so finally we've got a post from Rockale that says, share in the general section my request to the devs on salvaging. And the long and short of this is basically he's moaning about the fact that salvaging's been moved from the next update. And then goes on to have a moan about the fact that this happens quite a lot, and it seems strange that they can't stick to a timeline, so on and so forth. And I mean, we know this is going to happen. It's always going to happen. There's always going to be things that have to be moved around, but it is frustrating as to an individual person when you think, oh, it's happening to me, but in the grand scheme of things, it has to happen for them to make a fully formed game. So, do you cry about this? Do you cry yourself to sleep at night, or do you manage?
I can manage. I don't own a reclaimer.
Yeah.
It's a bit frustrating that major system mechanics get moved back a lot. We don't really know the reasons why. We can guess. My hunch at the moment is that they moved it out to focus more on bits that are needed for Squadron 42.
Yeah.
They're aiming to get that into beta, I think, by the end of the year. So that's on a timeline now. They need to get things done like AI, flight model, weapon balance, ship balance, get more ships in the game, get aliens in the game.
Yeah.
Things like that. So salvaging mechanic, which you will not be using in Squadron 42, can get moved back in their eyes.
Yeah, basically. I mean, that's pretty much said it all. That is, from what everyone can gather, is the reason. This game is being crafted around Squadron 42, so anything they need to do for that will have a knock-on effect to what we get in the PU. Anything they don't need in that game, we won't get. That's just the way it is, and they have to prioritise. I think the problem as well is because obviously that was what all these original backers were paying for. Was Squadron 42, and so they can't really then switch their focus. They have to have a laser focus on that, otherwise they will get themselves in trouble. So it's just the way it's going to be. And I mean, it's going to happen. I mean, if you're getting frustrated now, just wait, because things are only going to get worse, because the more systems that they get in, the more things are going to break, and the more things that they want to add are going to get pushed back, because they have to fix the several systems they've got in. It's just going to, it's like a snowball, and it is going to get bigger and bigger until eventually they get over that hill, and all of a sudden it's just all smooth downhill from there. They don't have to worry anymore. But until they get to that point, we're just going to have to get used to the fact that most of the stuff we want, we're probably not going to get when we expect it. Basically.
Yeah.
So,
at least until Squadron 42 is out. Or in beta at least. So maybe we'll get salvaging at the end of the year. Maybe beginning of next year. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of goes in a trend. It seems like you kind of get one major mechanic a year almost. Because obviously we had mining, and that was pretty much the only real big game mechanic for that year, I think, was mining.
Yeah.
And then what did we get the year before that?
Nothing.
Nothing. You have to excuse me, my voice keeps just going because I'm unwell at the minute. Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, it's just going to be a slow trickle of the things we want. But yeah, like you said, once Squadron 42 is kind of near a completion, things will rocket from there, and we should see a lot more systems in game. So okay, so there you have it. That's all the posts for this week. We hope you've liked our selection, and if you did, leave a like for the video. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll bring out a video two videos a week normally. So hit that subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell if you want to hear about our newest videos before everyone else. Don't forget, we're going to be doing a stream on Saturday night. 6 PM Eastern Standard Time, 11 PM in the UK. So if you want to come along and watch me just fumbling through with quite a large bunch of people, I think we're going to have a full server. So it should be an interesting night. Come along and join us. And that's pretty much it for now. So yeah, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you around the verse. Bye bye.
Farewell.